Hello, Tyson. How are you, mate?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm all good. I'm all good. You enjoying Fight Island?
Yeah, trying to just get out of quarantine. Just trying to get in fight week mode. We kick off all the fight week festivities tomorrow, so kind of the calm before the storm today.
Yeah. And how was quarantine for you? What sort of things were you doing? Just a bit of workouts and stuff like that?
Yeah, just trying to do some hotel room workouts and stay on top of the phone. Any messages that I had or whatever from back home, and yeah, just try to just get ready for the wake call, all that stuff, all the basic stuff.
Yeah. I bet it's a bit more like normal for you now because you've done it before, obviously, last time.
Yeah, a lot more bearable this time because it's you know 45 degrees cooler and not as uh, not as humid, so it's a little nicer now.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, this time you're there for Calvin Kattar against Max this weekend. And I bet all the fight fans are looking forward to this one because it's been like 3 weeks without fights.
Yeah, it's a perfect storm. It's a good fight. A lot of people are excited about it, and there hasn't been any MMA for almost a month, so I think the fans are ready for anything, but they're getting a good one on this one.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I remember, I think it was middle of 2020, in maybe August, I think it was, that this fight was actually like brought out to the public as a fight that was happening, but it was actually fake news then, and it's actually come together. So I remember seeing that fight. It was like a dream fight for me.
Yeah, no, we're glad it happened. We were patient. We stayed ready just in case it came, and finally we got the bout agreement, and here we are. We just now we got to execute.
Was it in talks in that sort of at that stage when it first got announced?
I think it didn't really get brought up until probably in August when the Zabit fight fell out, and then we didn't get that one. And then at that point, it was kind of like, hey, this is what we'd like to do, but there's some moving parts. So now we just had to kind of stay ready and hope it happened.
Yeah. And how is Calvin doing leading up to this?
He's good. He's in a good spot mentally. His weight's good, and he had a good camp. So we're excited about going in there and trying to take that number one spot.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And do you think like are you looking at it as like he's fighting the champion, or obviously because Max doesn't have the bout, but a lot of people say he's still the champ.
Yeah, we're fighting the uncrowned champ. A lot of people think he still is the champion or he's the paper champion at this point. So we gonna beat him. There's a claim to say that we beat the champion, but um, none of that really matters. We just gotta get in there, handle business, and get that hand raised.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And obviously, we're saying that if Calvin is the winner on Saturday, is that like what you're looking at next title shot?
Yeah, I mean it's got to be a title shot if you beat Max Holloway. I just don't see a scenario where they could say that we don't deserve a title shot after beating Max.
No, definitely, definitely. If he can get that win, then it's a no-brainer. Really, you can't really say anything. You can't really put
Yeah,
anyone else in front of him apart from the title holder.
yeah, no, I agree. I think you apply common sense, and that's what it should end up being. So hopefully that's what works, and we don't get it taken away
Yeah.
or whatever. Some shenanigans happen.
And obviously, there's going to be a few fans at this one as well. Is that going to be nice for you to hear some screams and some jeers and again?
Yeah, we're excited. Maybe like 4 or 5 thousand fans. They'll be yelling. Maybe they'll be booing. Who knows? But yeah, we just as long as they're being loud, we'll appreciate it because it's been a while since we've had fans, and yeah, we definitely miss them.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be nice to hear something from them. And it's going to be actually on ABC as well. Do you think that's going to add any more extra pressure to either fighter?
No, I don't think it doesn't really change anything. It's cool. It's obviously a bigger platform than to be in more households. It's got an extra buzz around the card because it's the first ABC card, so that's
Hmm.
awesome. But as far as when you're in there, you don't really notice the fans. You don't notice what network you're on. It's just you know Calvin Gator. He's got Max Holloway standing across from him. That's the only thing he's worried about, and I'm sure that's the only thing Max is worried about is Calvin Gator standing across from him.
Yeah, of course. And in a perfect world, obviously you're Cater's manager as well as his coach. In a perfect world for you, what would you see Calvin's rest of 2021 going if he gets past Max?
Beat Max, and then you know, fight the next fight be against the champ, whoever that ends up being, whether it be Ortega or Alex, or maybe there's a scenario where we do really well and we get to fight Alex first. So who knows? Like, everything's fluid, but at the end of the day, all we're worried about is capping off 2020, with the win over Max. We're considering this fight a 2020 fight because we trained all 2020 for it. So after that, we'll start thinking about what our moves will be in 2021.
Yeah. And obviously, you're not just the manager and the coach of Calvin, you're a manager of Rob Font as well, who had a great fight as well last year to top off 2020. And where do you see like the perfect situation for him as well going into 2021?
It'd be nice to get booked soon so we can get into camp. He's already training, but everybody around us is booked. The only fight that seems to be out there is the TJ Dillashaw fight, and I think that's an exciting fight. Rob deserves another big name. He earned it, and TJ, he wants to come back. I'm sure he doesn't want to sit around for a while. He's been out a while already, so if he wants to come back and get a fight in, in Q1 of 2021, it's probably got to be against us.
Yeah, I can see that fight happening, definitely. And then, like you said, there's the rest of the top five are pretty much booked, apart from Cody Garbrandt, which he's probably looking for a different fight anyway. But one name that I actually picked up that would be an interesting fight for me as a fan would be like Jose Aldo. Obviously, I'm not sure how far he is from coming back because he's not long fought. But what do you think of that fight for Rob?
Yeah, all those are good, but I'm hearing rumors that Aldo is going to fight Garbrandt. So who knows? Like, it sounds like that could happen. So if that happens, then it's definitely just us and TJ left. So that's a big fight. We'd love it to be a main event. I think Rob's earned a shot. He's been in the UFC 6 years. He's 8-3. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He just knocked out the number 3 guy. We get the TJ fight. I think that's definitely a main event. Give us 5 rounds to prove that we are a headliner and a title contender.
Yeah, definitely. I really want that fight to come together because TJ is like obviously a good striker and Rob's a very good striker as well. So to see that skills together, see how they match up would be a great fight.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be fireworks. The fans would love it, and there'd be a lot of buzz around the fight.
Yeah, definitely. And a bit onto you now. Like you're a manager and a coach, as I previously mentioned. Like, how did you sort of get into that?
Yeah, I was just training with guys like Rob, and I was getting my own fights, and so I started getting Rob fights, and I was running all the practices at the gym we were at, and cornering them for all the fights, and it's just kind of happened. Next thing you know, they're calling me their manager, and I'm cornering them, and calling me coach. No one really knew what to call me. I was just doing whatever needed to get done, and then fast forward 10, 11 years, and here we are. It's just now I got a handful of guys that I just manage, and then I got Rob and Calvin who I coach, and it's been quite a trip.
Yeah, and obviously, like you just said, you've had your own fight career as well. What was it that made you stop? Because I think you're a black belt in BBJ as well, so that obviously helps.
Yeah, as I got older, just injuries, and I had neck surgery after my last fight. Then I had thumb surgery from an injury that I got in the last fight, and it was just time to kind of hang it up, focus on coaching, and I was getting too beat up. And when you're fighting on the local scene, you're not making any money, and it's hard to smash your bones against people's heads and get all these surgeries when you're not even making money. So the writing was on the wall. It's time to kind of transition to something else.
Yeah, definitely. I know as a coach, you still get like the odd injuries here and there, but it's nowhere near the beating up you get in an actual fight. Yeah,
well, we're fortunate we don't have to get punched in the head anymore. Our job is to try to make sure they don't get punched in the head.
Yeah. What sort of like specific training do you do with Calvin and Rob?
No, we just drill a lot. They get their sparring, and then I'll jump in a lot on the cage work and just different, top pressure, stuff like that, and just small details. But as far as like a day-to-day drilling partner, I'm freaking my body can't handle that. We get the young guys jump in and do that, and I just watch, step in every now and then to kind of just show one detail, stuff like that, and a lot of it's just keep my eyes on them and then tweaking little things. But yeah, we get some young guys like Tom Pags. He'll train with both guys a lot and drill with them, and and they both drill with each other quite a bit. So we're lucky that I don't have to jump in and kill myself even more.
Yeah, that's definitely a great asset for both of Calvin and Rob to have to be able to spar together, because obviously they're a weight class apart, but I'm sure on like in between camps they're probably more or less the same sort of weight.
Yeah, they're good training partners. They both help each other. They both try to give each other the right look, and there's no egos, so they both get good work. Regardless of who's in camp.
Yeah. And like, what's the main thing for you, like, to keep that like your management work and your coaching work a bit separate? Because obviously, like you said, you have a lot of fighters that you manage, and then you have two people that you coach. What sort of the benefits there?
I think the benefits is, being a manager helps me be a better coach because I get to see a lot of different athletes in different camps, and they talk about things they're doing with their coaches and things they like about their camps and things they do. Their training schedule, so you get to benchmark a lot of these other coaches, and you hear kind of what they're doing. You see what they're coming up for game plans or what they're not doing, and so it kind of gives you a little bit of a you know an example of what else is going on in the community. So I get a look outside our little bubble and kind of see what everybody else is doing, keep up to date with the different trends and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And you've obviously got your own little like brand sort of thing now, your New England Cartel.
Yep.
Get your hoodies, get your hats.
Yeah, it's been doing well. A lot of people are supporting it, and getting t-shirts, hoodies, hats. It's the cartel seems to resonate with people. We're kind of the bad news bears of MMA, and kind of us versus the big guy. And I think a lot of people they appreciate that challenge. It's always nice to root for the underdog, and I feel like that's kind of what we are as a team and as individuals. And together, it's kind of like us taking on the giants of the sport, and it's been pretty good run.
Yeah, definitely. You've been flying under the radar for quite a while, and then now both of your fighters are starting to get a lot of attention that they deserved a long time ago, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to get attention, and it's hard to get momentum. Both these guys have momentum; they're getting attention. Now it's just our job to keep that momentum going, capitalize on it, and keep getting bigger and bigger opportunities.
Yeah, and of course, like, you're not just a great manager, a great coach, and that was shown in the awards from MMAJunkie.com, where you got the Coach of the Year for 2020 along with Eric Nixick. How did that make you feel when you heard about that?
No, it was flattering. It's you look at all the good coaches in MMA, and just to be even mentioned in the same sentence just shows how far we've come as a team. It's on paper it's an individual award, but really it's an award for the team. It's just showing how well the team's doing. I'm just the face of it on the coaching side. So, we get a lot of good coaches that we work with, like Jake and John and Sean and Nick. We have a lot of other guys. It's just as much belongs to them and the team as it does me. But it's just flattering that, we're being mentioned with some of these perennial powerhouse coaches like Henry Hooft and then Eric Nixick to get his first award. That was cool to be sharing it with him because me and him are buddies. And I think you're going through a little bit of change of the guard in MMA. There's the guys that are always going to be in that conversation and they're always going to do well. But now there's a new crop of coaches coming up that are kind of, maybe either making a name for themselves same way or kind of doing it different. And I think we're the latter. We're kind of doing it different over here at the cartel. We keep the circle small with more focused on individuals, not the team, not the group. And we've shown that there's another way to skin the cat. And I think hopefully you'll start to see more of that with other teams, that they'll figure out that you can really dial in on fighters and show them the level of attention that they deserve if you keep the circle small.
Yeah, I definitely, from the people that I've spoke to, I've definitely found like a lot more people are seeing a lot more benefits from spending, like, they do it because of coronavirus, but you've been doing it forever. But like, they're seeing the benefits from spending less time with the whole group rather than like just doing a session with their coach by themselves, sort of thing. So it's definitely
I think.
Sorry, Carol.
Yeah, coronavirus definitely made us all look a lot smarter because now everybody's doing what we've been doing for years. They're doing it out of necessity. We did it because we saw the value in it early. And so I think you're seeing a little bit of shift in maybe how people are going to start training fighters. There's going to be the same things, the big gyms, and they're going to do, keep doing what they do. And they're still going to be having success with it. But then you're going to see a lot of other people, I think, try to shift and maybe focus a little bit more on the individuals versus the group.
Yeah. And I think another benefit of that is, like you said before, there's no egos in like that little small New England Cartel bubble that you've got. But when you walk into a gym that's got 40 fighters, there's a lot of fighters in there that like they got the ego. They want to be the big boss and the big man in the gym, sort of thing.
Yeah, we don't have any of that. There's no room for it. They don't have to prove themselves. They're already all friends, and they're there to help. When Calvin does good, it helps Rob, and Rob does good, it helps Calvin. So no one's out there to prove who's anything, because at the end of the day, we're all the same team. We're just trying to keep having success one fight at a time.
Yeah, definitely. That's all the questions I've got for you, mate. Thank you for your time and joining me.
No, man, I appreciate it. You have a great day.
Yeah, you too. And I wish Calvin and the New England Cartel team, the best of luck in the future.
Thanks, brother.